I'm terrible. I'm the wrong person to talk to. I really don't know a thing. I don't know if anyone will ever sit beside me on a plane again. My only two constants are to challenge myself and to try not to repeat myself. I'm not interested in a good man's life. I am interested in contradiction. The best roles you have to fight for. You have to really want to do it, and you have to go after it. If you apologize once, you do it again and again and again. Like taking bricks out of the wall of your house. It's always nice to be challenged. I think it's necessary to keep moving forward. I've always said that nostalgia is death, really, for anyone creative. I personally think if something's not challenged, there's no point doing it because you're not gonna learn much. For me, drama is conflict. I will always love film. The romance of film, sitting in the darkened room with strangers and watching a story for 2 hours that will always remain and never be eroded by television. I'd probably have been wealthier if I had stayed with law, but pretty miserable doing it. You need to be as clean of a slate as you can be as an actor. You have to try to be open to every experience. My only two constants are to challenge myself and to try not to repeat myself. I've had the pleasure and the great luck to work with some incredible actors over the years. And you have to observe and learn and take something from it and try and become better yourself. I like the little bit of distance that London affords me, and I like living in a world capital. I like having the culture at my fingertips. At the moment, I'm doing this space movie, so I'm obsessed with physics and space travel. I know 3 months down the line, it's gone. Then I'll be able to superficially say stuff about space. Having started out in theater, I feel an impulse to do it as much as I can. There's a lot of comedy in intermission, but it's got this depth. It's not comedy for comedy's sake. It's informed by something else. I like stuff like that. I don't think they'd ever make a movie about Chuck Baker, but I'd love to play Chuck Baker. It's obvious that if you're going to play a character, you need to amass information about that person and about their environment or their era that they're in and use as little or as much as necessary. I think there's such a thing as a performance gene. If it's in your DNA, it needs to come out. For me, it originally came out through music, then segued into acting and came out through there. I always needed to get up and perform. If you behave like a celebrity, then people will treat you like a celebrity, and if you don't, they won't. There's not much to write about me in the tabloids. I don't have a burning passion to live in America per se, but I would certainly like to work there. My wife can see always how a part affects me personally, because she has to live with it. I'd probably have been wealthier if I had stayed with law, but pretty miserable doing it. Or an actor who's Irish, not an Irish actor. And you shouldn't be limited by your extraction. I come from a long line of teachers. Not only did I not go into the family business, I had an aborted law career and I played in bands. Disco Pigs was my first professional acting experience. I was obsessed with Batman as a kid. I did the film in part just to be near the Batmobile. But I also think director Christopher Nolan made a very fine, intelligent film. That's what acting is about. Funny wigs and voices. That's what we do. 2 weeks ago, we couldn't pronounce your name, but you were in the lead in a film that made millions. So we're sending you all these scripts. For me, it's about being at home and living a life. Taking the dog for a walk, doing the shopping, emptying the dishwasher, going for a run. There's a lot of comedy in intermission, but it's got this depth. It's not comedy for comedy's sake. It's informed by something else. I like stuff like that. My only two constants are to challenge myself and to try not to repeat myself. Having started out in theater, I feel an impulse to do it as much as I can. What we do as actors is we go through phases where you superficially learn all this information. The best roles you have to fight for. You have to really want to do it, and you have to go after it. Now, I like the quiet life. I'd probably have been wealthier if I had stayed with law, but pretty miserable doing it. If you apologize once, you do it again and again and again. Like taking bricks out of the wall of your house. I learned long ago to hate my enemies, but I've never loved one before. Lies travel faster than the truth. I have made arrangements with men I trust. If I should die, then you will die. Know that. It's always nice to be challenged. Whiskey is good proofing water. It tells you who's real and who isn't. She's in the past. The past is not my concern. The future is no longer my concern either. 5 for peace, 2 for truce, 1 abstention. Let's get on with the war. I imagine being shot by a woman hurts the same as being shot by a man. Just a bit more shameful. Get yourself a decent haircut, man. We're going to the races. You strike when your enemy is weak. The only way to guarantee peace is by making the prospect of war seem hopeless. Good taste is for people who can't afford sapphires. I'm not a traitor to my class. I am just an extreme example of what a working man can achieve. There is no rest for me in this world. Perhaps in the next. A good man needs to hold out sometimes. Fortune drops something valuable into your lap. You don't just dump it on the bank of the cut. The medium is secondary to the stories. You have to get what you want, your own way. You can change what you do, but you can't change what you want. When you plan something well, there's no need to rush. Those of you who are last will soon be first, and those of you who are downtrodden will rise up.